back, everybody, with another splendid edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers. Very happy to have you back in again, no matter what platform you're looking at us on. Got a good show for you today. We have a very interesting guest, a gentleman who I followed for a long time on Facebook. He does great golf tips, and I said, you know what? Let's have this guy on. I think he's going to be interesting, and I know that you are going to enjoy it. Anyway, thank you for joining the show today. But first, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell on YouTube so you'll know when we're going to release a new show or have done a new show. And also, leave us a comment, if you will. Let us know how you think we're doing, any suggestions, any criticism. We could take it, okay? So, be honest with it, and we would appreciate you doing that. The weather here in Las Vegas now is fantastic. As you know, we went through record heat last month. Every day we were setting a record, but now it's back to normal, low 80s, mid 80s. Absolutely fabulous to get out and play some golf. Golf courses are loving it because we don't have a lot of people canceling. Everybody, of course, is still trying to get out in the morning, but it is absolutely terrific. Let me do this before we start with our special guest. A little bit going on in the world of golf, and I want to share a couple things with you right now. Last week, I don't know if you saw it, congratulations to the USA team for winning the Ryder Cup. It's been a few years. Looks like they wanted to give it away the last day, but they held on. They won it. So congratulations to the captain and all of the teammates for a job well done. Also, the LIV Tour announced their schedule early, really bucking up against some of the marquee events on the PGA Tour. What the reason for that was, I'm not really sure, but, we're going to find out. But there was a little bit of discussion on that, and I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference. People that are going to watch LIV are going to watch LIV. People that are going to watch the PGA Tour are going to watch the PGA Tour. Also, I've got another card here for some stuff. We have an event coming out here in December, I believe. It's going to be a match between a couple of huge stars on the PGA Tour playing against a couple of huge stars on the LIV Tour. They're looking around for a golf course. They're looking around for a sponsor. I've got to guess it's either going to end up at Shadow Creek, or it's going to get, a course like Rio Seco or something. But we'll find out, and we'll find out who, how well it does. So we've got that to look forward to. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about our special guest today. Let me find my card. All right, here it is. Jim Labuda is our special guest. Jim has been a golf coach with the IMG Academy since 2001. I'm not sure how many of you out there know exactly what the IMG Academy does. You might be getting it mixed up with a management group or something, but we're going to ask Jim to explain it. He's been teaching golf full-time since 2007 after leaving his stint in the corporate world, so he wanted to get away from that. So good on him. He was named the lead women's golf coach at Niagara University in 2019 and was also named the head men's golf coach at, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I'm gonna ask him, but had both jobs at the same time, plus teaching. So the guy was busy. The guy, to say the least. I'm going to ask him about that, how he handled that and his job there. So anyway, my pleasure right now to bring up our special guest, Jim Labuda, and hopefully you've seen him on Facebook like I have, and you have appreciated the golf tips that he has done. Anyway, Jim, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Looking forward to the show. How did you handle being the head coach for the women and the men at the same time, plus what you're doing? How did you do it?
Well,
My
thanks,
gosh.
first of all. Yeah, thanks for having me, Dennis. I appreciate it. It was a very busy time for sure.
I bet.
Being a head coach of a Division I women's golf program and being the head coach of a Division III men's golf program at a college called Medaille College.
It is
in
Medaille,
Buffalo, New
okay.
York. Yep, it is Medaille. It definitely took a little bit of time for sure. The girls really kind of focused on their own practice. They knew what to do. I could kind of assign them a practice plan and let the girls go off on their own. The guys, the class schedules were a little bit different, so it was easier for me to kind of show up to a guys' practice. We didn't practice as much with them either. The guys was maybe a couple days a week. They kind of did things as a team on their own.
Right.
The girls, we kind of assigned a practice plan. I'd go see them probably daily. But again, it was the girls knew what to do. So some of them would practice in the morning, some would practice in the afternoon.
Right.
So I was definitely wearing a lot of hats and juggling a lot at that time for sure.
Yeah, as you know, UNLV is a Division I team out here. Very good team for a lot of years. Is it easier from a coaching standpoint to coach a Division III as opposed to a Division I? What do you think?
Actually, I think it's the opposite because with the Division I program, obviously there is scholarship money available to award.
Yeah.
So you can award scholarship money to the players you're looking for. You can maybe take a pool of, say, 20 players.
Right.
And if you're recruiting 2 that year, you can then whittle it down and get your 2. If I've got a Division III program, we don't have any scholarship money available, or we never did.
Right.
So I had to probably take, for every spot that I had, I probably had to make contact with 75 to 100 Division III golfers, see if they were interested in the college, was there the program they were looking to study, and then see if we could get into, get them to become a member of the team at that time and apply to the school. So I would actually say being Division III, there was a lot more original contacts you had to make.
A little bit easier. I get that. I get that. Let me ask you this, Jim. Who or how is it that made you interested in golf to the point you wanted to teach golf for a living?
It's kind of funny because my family is basically been a family of athletes. I was actually a swimmer. I kind of swam for a year or 2 in college growing up. My brother was a football player and my sister was a basketball player. So we all kind of played golf on the side as for fun. But then as I started getting burnt out from swimming, because I was swimming since I was like 8 years old, I started looking for another sport to take on, and I just naturally gravitated towards golf because I had so much fun with it and I love the game so much. Becoming a teacher was just something that seemed natural to me. I was a very self-taught person in the game. I never really had my own coach. I never had my own instructor. And back when I was learning, it was magazine articles, it was books. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have, guys like me on social media to go and look at different tips. So it was natural for me at that time to make a transition into a teacher to help other people play and just teach them what I learned through the years.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got to correct you on one thing, Jim. When you said you were getting burnt out on swimming, you're in cold water, so flames aren't going to last very long, for you to get burnt. But how do you select, and I have to compliment you on the tips you do on Facebook where I started following you. How do you select what tips you are going to do?
There's really no method to it. It's just, I've taught for so many years and you become accustomed to what people struggle with.
Yeah.
And, most golfers are going to struggle with the same thing.
Right.
Where they're all going to slice the ball. They're going to struggle with their ball striking. On the putting green, they're going to struggle with their speed control, and they want to eliminate the three putts if they want to get better.
Right.
So there's so many different ways to teach somebody how to stop a slice. But maybe one way of explaining it to one person doesn't resonate with them. You may have to change the terminology a little bit. So I may need to take one training aid or one way of teaching somebody to correct a slice and change it a little bit, or just manipulate it a little so that somebody else can understand it.
Yeah. Okay. And you set that up perfectly, Jim, for my next question. So thank you. What are some of the factors you as a teacher look at in helping you decide what type swing philosophy that student should have, or swing philosophy that you would like to start teaching that particular student?
Well, really, impact factors, and all the impact factors are what makes the ball go, because impact is what makes the ball fly. We're trying to hit it towards the target.
Yeah.
But there's so much stuff that happens before impact that affects the position of the club face, that affects the path the club comes through, that affects the strike location, things like that. I always start back at the basics, your grip, alignment, stance, and posture, because I can't tell you how many times I've had people come to me for a lesson, even when I was teaching years ago, and even now at IMG, the kids I can't stop pushing the ball to the right. I don't understand what it is. So I get them, we check their alignment. Well, maybe it would help if you weren't aiming 20 yards right. Oh, really? So you adjust their alignment a little bit, the ball's going straight.
Yeah. Yeah. Something pretty simple. I was going to ask you, what is the commonality of problem that most of your students come to you for? Everybody is so damn concerned with distance today. All they do is get up and try to pound it as far as they can. And I think they're missing the boat on other really important parts of the golf game, the short game, putting. And what's the main issue that most people come to you for?
Well, the biggest issue I see is, you're right. People are very obsessed with distance, and they're trying to hit the ball as far as they can. They're not necessarily sure where the ball is going to go.
Yeah.
But people become obsessed with what they see on TV. So they look at, everybody's got the TrackMan numbers that are being put up on TV, and you can go online and find, Rory McIlroy's angle of attack, or what Tiger Woods' club speed was, and that's what they want to be. But people can't necessarily do that, or you can't really physically do that. I mean, I can't swing like Tiger. I can't come up with that speed that he did. So there's too many people that are trying to emulate what guys are doing on tour, thinking that those are the picture perfect positions, instead of doing what's right for them. Exactly
right. No, well said. In May of 2021, Jim accepted a position as a golf coach at IMG Academy. I don't know how many of our viewers, Jim, know that much about IMG. Can you give them a little background on what IMG is, their philosophy, what you do, and why they stand out? And they do stand out.
IMG Academy is a boarding school that is based in Bradenton, Florida. And our main goal is college placement of junior golfers and junior athletes. I believe there are 8 different sports at IMG Academy, and there have been some pretty famous golfers that have actually graduated from IMG that came and studied there. I mean, Nelly and Jessica Korda were both IMG graduates. CT Pan is a graduate who was the Olympic bronze medalist back in, it must have been 2020. So he graduated from IMG Academy. So we're a boarding school where kids come to develop their golf game and hopefully get into the college that they want to go to.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. I know you've had some very, very good players come through there. And how long has it been established? It's been established for a while now, right, Jim?
Yeah, IMG's been around for many years. It was actually started many years ago by a gentleman named Nick Bollettieri, who started it as a Nick Bollettieri Tennis Academy. And it started on a small piece of land in Bradenton, and it's grown over the years to become this. Last I looked, and I can't be sure if this is the same or not, but I believe it's a 600-acre facility that has 8 different sports on there.
Wow. Okay. Is golf one of the primary sports? Do you have a lot of people working on golf, or is it more tennis, or what would you say?
Well, obviously, I think some of the team sports are going to be a little bit bigger. There's soccer, basketball, football, lacrosse, tennis, golf, volleyball, basketball. So those team sports are obviously going to be a little bit bigger and have more teams. In the golf program, I believe we've got about 180 students currently enrolled from across the world.
Okay. And how do you divide that up where you're able to oversee all of them, for lack of a better term?
Well, we've got a great team of coaches there and a great management staff that come in and they oversee everything, and they tell us who we're working with, who the kids we're working with for the year. And it's usually come down to about an 8-to-1 ratio. So I'm coaching usually about 8 kids that are my responsibility throughout the school year. Okay.
I just got a question from a viewer on my laptop. Wants to know, do you take them off property ever to play other golf courses for like a playing lesson type thing?
Yeah, we have to, because IMG Academy, we're on the school facility. We have a big driving range, there's putting greens, there's short game areas, things like that. But in order to play a course, there is an IMG Academy golf club, but we do take them to other courses in and around the Bradenton, Sarasota area to test their skills, so they're not playing the same course all the time.
Right. No, that's good. That's good. All right, Jim, I'll tell you what, we're up against a break. Stay right there. We're going to step away, take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have a lot more with our special guest, Jim Labuda. So keep it right there. We're back right after this.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
The revolutionary Power to Golf Club is helping golfers around the world continue to enjoy the greatest game of all. This amazing club requires no swing to hit shots from 50 up to 225 yards. That's right, no swing to hit shots, including fades, draws, low shots, as well as high ones. One incredible club does it all. Golfers with a wide variety of physical issues, including bad backs, hips, shoulders, and more, are now back in the game golfing with friends and family. Just set the club club to the desired distance, and with a push of the button, the easy-to-use Power to Golf Club launches shots down the fairway and onto the green. The Power to Golf Club has been endorsed by some of the biggest names in golf, and the number of golfers enjoying the game by use of our unique technology continues to grow. Whether a physical issue or just want to join in on the fun, the Power to Golf Club is for you. Don't be left on the sidelines. Get back in the game today. Visit at powergolfclub.com. All right, welcome back, everybody, to more of the 19th Hole podcast for golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers. Let me just do a little house cleaning up. I mentioned this earlier about another made-for-TV match coming to Las Vegas, a match between Scotty Scheffler, and by the way, congratulations to Scotty Scheffler. Unbelievable year for winning the FedEx Cup a couple of weeks ago. He's going to be, and Rory McIlroy representing the PGA Tour. They're playing against Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka, of course, representing the LIV Tour. So again, they got to find a golf course. They'd like to find a sponsor. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, back with our special guest, Jim Labuda. I got another question sent to me, Jim, that wanted me to ask you, do you participate at all with the college administration or whoever these folks talk to when they're trying to get recruited by a college? Do you have any input in that?
We have a college placement director at IMG Academy who handles the college placement for the golf department.
Okay.
Sometimes they may need to talk to the coach. Sometimes they might want to get swing videos, TrackMan numbers. So we do all work together because, again, we do have an ultimate goal of placing that golfer in the best possible college that they can go to. So it is a team effort.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty much what I figured, and that obviously makes some sense. You'd have a person or a couple of people or a department devoted to strictly that because, that's what they do. All right, let me ask you this. We've talked about the LIV Tour a little bit. What is your opinion of the LIV Tour? Do you think there's going to be a consensus, because they're meeting as we speak, of the LIV Tour and the PGA Tour? What's your views on that?
I would love to see a consensus between the two tours. I was very disappointed when a lot of guys left to join the LIV Tour. A lot of the big names went out there.
Yeah.
I think that it kind of definitely affected the play in the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And I would love to see those guys all playing together again.
Yeah, a lot of people would. You're right. And, it has had an effect on the ratings, are down. And a lot of people are squawking about it. Hey, I don't tune in anymore. My favorite player's not there, or the competition is not what it should be because they're playing over there and not here. And I just hope they can get together. But there's plenty of reason, and you know what I'm talking about, why they bailed, so to speak. And speaking of that, your view about the PGA Tour and the R&A getting together, wanting to roll back the ball in a couple of years. What's your feelings about that?
I'm not sure that it's actually the ball. Yes, the ball is having an effect on it, but there's so many other things that are involved in that. I mean, driver heads have become so light and shafts are so light and the heads are so big. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, I was so excited because my parents had bought me a tailor-made burner driver where the head of that club was probably the size of a hybrid these days.
Yeah.
There's so many other things that are affecting the distance in the game. The physical fitness in the game has become such a huge part of it these days.
Yeah.
That, no matter what we do with the ball, yes, it might roll it back a little bit, but these guys will find another way to keep hitting the ball even further.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Like I keep saying, it's not going to affect the professionals. It's going to be the amateurs that are going to be affected, and we'll see how many amateurs really comply, with that rule. And
Exactly.
it's going to be interesting to see in a couple of years. Speaking about equipment, Jim, do you help your students at all with club fitting?
At times, yes. We have, again, at IMG, we have a gentleman that's on staff. That's all he does is club fitting. So his responsibility is to make sure that the students are playing the correct equipment. Sometimes they might break a shaft during practice. They might snap a driver head, and it's his job, and he's got to get those students with their equipment ready to play the tournaments again. So
Right.
he's responsible for getting involved with the students, knowing what equipment they have, what equipment they need. Are the shafts too weak? Are the shafts too heavy for them?
Right.
Different things like that to make sure, again, because with our whole goal is getting these students into college. If they're playing the wrong equipment, that can have a negative effect on
Oh,
their game
absolutely.
and how they're performing.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that IMG probably has a world-class, a first-class workout area, gym for these people to go to, and programs for them to do.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
we do. I mean, the gym is huge. I can't believe. I mean, you walk in, the gym is probably bigger than the actual school building. So
Oh,
it's
my
just,
goodness.
which may not be good to say, but it's probably a bit bigger than that. Plus,
Wow.
not only that, with the mental performance and the mental training that the students get, along with the nutrition to make sure that they are fueling properly, they're taking care of
Yep.
their bodies, things like that. It's such a the program was definitely an eye opener when I got there.
Yeah, I bet. Speaking of that, how did it happen? Who approached you? How did they find out about you to get you over to IMG?
That was actually me applying for a job down here. My wife and I had been looking to relocate to Florida for a while. Originally, we're from Buffalo, New York,
Ah,
and it was the second stint of 7 feet of snow that I think kind of gave us the idea that said, maybe as a golf coach, this isn't the greatest area for you to be in. So it was kind of that idea that, we decided, hey, look, this opportunity came up. Let's apply, see what happens. And here I am.
here you go. Good for you. So you must be a Bills fan.
Absolutely part of Bills Mafia. Go
Yeah.
Bills.
Yeah, absolutely. Go, go, go. Yeah. They got some great talent on that team. A lot of guys on that team I know play golf, including their quarterback, a lot of it.
Yep.
And he's a very good representative for them. I've been to Buffalo once, and it's very interesting to see all the brick buildings there still. Niagara Falls, the Canadian border, and yeah, very, 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 very interesting. What do you
Yeah, it's
think
definitely-
about?
it's-
Well, I'm sorry.
No, sorry. It's definitely different when I was able to stand on the campus at Niagara University where I used to coach, and I could look across the river and see Canada on the other side.
Yeah,
And when I tell people that I used to recruit kids out of Canada, and my family, we used to go spend afternoons in Niagara Falls, Canada. They're like, really? You used to go to another country? And for living that close to a border, it's very easy just to go back and forth and
really
spend
easy.
some time in the American side. Yeah, spend
Yeah.
some time on the Canadian side. It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Speaking about Canada and other countries and stuff, I don't know how closely you follow the LPGA Tour, but as you know, week after week, the leaderboard is missing, I think, a lot of American players, Asian players, European players. Do you think the Americans are ever going to dominate that tour again? I don't. What's your thought, Jim?
Well, based on the results in the Solheim Cup, I think they're off to a pretty good start.
Well, now they are, yeah.
Maybe not dominate the tour, but you got to look at the fact that the PGA Tour and golf is really becoming a worldwide sport. So there's a lot more people in the world that are playing this game. Now the female side of it, the women are starting to play this game a lot more. So you're going to have more female Europeans, more of the Koreans, more of the Chinese players, the Japanese. They're the ones that are going to start coming around a little bit more. And I got to tell you, what I'd love to see, and I've talked about this for a couple years on my Facebook page now, you've got the Solheim Cup where Team USA plays Team Europe. Next week, we've got where the men are playing in the President's Cup.
Correct.
Where's the Women's President's Cup? You're missing people like Lydia Ko, Minjee Lee, Brooke Henderson from Canada, Roning Yin, Hannah Green from Australia. All these players are top 10, top 12 in the LPGA Tour, and they're not part of an international competition.
Yeah.
I would love to see a female or a women's type President's Cup competition come around.
Do you think, Jim, that's because most people think that women's golf, as far as popularity and whatever, is a little bit softer than the men's side? So they give it more to the men than they do the women, so to speak?
I do, and I don't understand why those people are thinking that. I mean, the female game, the LPGA Tour these days, their slogan is "These girls are good," or it used to be at one point. I mean, these girls can play.
No, they
it's
can
amazing the way they're hitting the ball. The female and the women's game is totally different than what it used to be in the days of, Nancy Lopez years ago.
True.
I mean, I loved watching, and I was so into that Nelly Korda Charlie Hall match on Sunday. When that was announced, I told my wife, I said, we need to do the grocery shopping early because I'm going to be in the front of the TV for this match. So,
does your wife play golf?
No, she doesn't, unfortunately. We tried a couple times, and she'd rather just kind of sit in the golf cart and enjoy the views.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you better work on that. There's been some talk about, not a lot of talk, but the possibility of getting a live women's tour. What do you think the possibility of that happening is?
I'm surprised it actually hasn't happened yet, because I know there were rumors of that probably when Live first started a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But I just think that if people went to Live for women, it might just have a bigger effect on the LPGA Tour than what it's had on the PGA Tour for the men's. And I don't think that's something that the LPGA Tour can afford at this time. I think a lot of those women they're dedicated to the LPGA.
Yep.
That's where their game is. That's what they know. So I don't think you'd have as many of them leaving.
Yeah. It would be interesting. It would be interesting to see if they were offered the same kind of money, the same kind of deal, as the men got and stuff. So
I agree.
That would be very interesting. All right, Jim, we're up against another hard break. We're going to take a short time out, and when we come back, we will have more with our guest, Jim Labuda. Stay with us. We're going to finish up right after this. One of the perks about being in golf media is that I get to try every club ever made. Of course, like most things, some are better than others. I'm here to tell you that I have found unquestionably the absolute best performing set of irons I have ever played, and my scores show it. Let me introduce you to Grindworks, custom fitted irons that are made to fit your game. Grindworks offers players 3 different styles of irons. You can choose muscleback irons, cavity back irons, and even blades, along with some awesome wedges. And when you purchase your clubs, Grindworks lets you choose the type of shaft you want, the type grip you prefer, and even will adjust the loft and lie of your clubs if needed. That's unheard of. So what are you waiting for? feel the power and experience and performance of these amazing clubs. Simply go to grindworksusa.com or call 281-651-4046 to order. Trust me, your handicap will love you for it. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're having a great conversation with our special guest, Jim Labuda, who is a golf coach and at the IMG Academy in Florida. And we got some time left to keep picking Jim's brain about a couple of things. Jim, there's been, as you know, conversation about the rules of golf. And if you were commissioner for a day, what's the one rule that you would be prone to change, to adjust?
That's a good one. The one rule I would be prone to change. You know what? If I had to say, I would probably say the out of bounds rule.
Really? That's interesting. I didn't think you were going to go near that.
Weekend players, I think, would benefit, and especially from pace of play, they're going to benefit from that local rule that if you hit one out of bounds, you can drop by the out of bounds, but you're hitting 4, so you take an extra stroke.
Okay.
I think you should just make that, if it's out of bounds, maybe make it out of bounds for tournament play, out of bounds for, the college players, your big amateur events, your professional events. But I would say that that's probably, from what I've seen, if slow play, if the pace of play is going to be something they're going to want to keep working on, let a guy drop a ball near the out of bounds, give him his one stroke, and go.
Yeah, well, there's something certainly to be said about that, but that kind of surprised me a little bit, and but it's certainly something to think about. You can make a local rule, but like you say, for a college tournament, a club championship, or something like that, you can change it. You can definitely revert back, and obviously slow play is an issue. You mentioned about we've interviewed every mental coach there is, and when you mentioned it, do you have somebody on staff that everybody works with that is a mental coach?
We've got a couple different coaches on staff, some new coaches this year that work with the students on different aspects, different areas of the mental game. And really a lot of it comes down to just self-talk, and a lot of it is, you hit a bad shot and it's, oh God, that shot was terrible. Well, just because you didn't hit it in the center of the face, it didn't fly like, Rory hits it on TV. The ball's still on the green. You got a 25-foot putt. The result was there. So
don't be so unhappy. Yeah,
exactly. There's too many players these days that are expecting perfection out of every single shot.
Yeah, they beat themselves up unnecessarily, and that sets the tone for the rest of the round. And you're right. It is not a good thing. And I know years ago, I never put the importance on the mental game as I look at it now. And it is important, and you got to work on it, but you certainly can't beat yourself up. What is the main reason, Jim, you think the average weekend player, the 12 handicap, the 15 handicap, the 17 handicap, whatever, does not get better?
Because when they go to the driving range, they buy a bucket of balls, they hit the balls, and then they might warm up with 5-10 swings with an iron, and then they're trying to rip driver further than their buddy next to them.
True.
Probably I'd say 40 to 50% of the shots during a round of golf are hit from inside of 100 yards.
Right.
And you just don't have people that are spending the time practicing the short game, practicing the putting. I mean, it's not really sexy to sit there and chip your 60-yard wedge shots or hit different pitch shots like that. But
true.
If someone's really trying to get better, that's where they're going to get better, is going to be in the short game, knocking off a few more putts around, not 3-putting as much around, but nobody wants to practice that. They just want to go and rip driver at the driving range and see how far they can hit it.
100%. And I think, unfortunately, depending on the way you look at it, that distance is going to remain sexy for a long time. People are going to be chasing that distance. And, you know, there's so much more to it in the golf swing, you know, than just being strong and swinging fast and swinging hard. But I think that's going to be around, depending on how you look at it, unfortunately, for a while. And we'll just see what happens. There's so many other parts of the game that can help you score. You know, scoring part of the game, the short game, the putting, bunker play, and it's just not all about swinging hard and fast. So, anyway, Jim, before I let you go, what's the future hold for Jim Labuda? We certainly hope you keep doing those great tips on Facebook, and I recommend everybody listening and viewing, go to Facebook, find Jim. He really does a terrific job. So are you at IMG forever? I hate to put the pressure on you, but hey, you got a good gig there, man.
I got a great gig. I love my job. I mean, I go to work every day, and we're in Florida. It's sunny. I'm wearing shorts to work every day. So
hey, don't get better than that, man.
No, I'm loving this. I mean, I don't think there's anything that could pull me from here. I'm loving my job, loving my life right now.
Don't get better than that. I'd love to come out and see the facility, because I know it's fantastic. And like you say, you've had a hell of a lot of good players come through there, and I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it.
Let me know when. You're more than welcome. Anytime you want to come out, we'll arrange it.
I appreciate that. And I think you ought to bring your wife out to Las Vegas for a little R&R. How's that? So we can get out and play golf.
I think she'd probably want to do that. I may have to keep her out of the casinos, but, you know,
Easy
don't know
enough.
if that's possible, but we'll see.
Easy enough, really. A lot of stuff to do here other than throw dice or play blackjack or whatever. We'll get out and play some golf. We will have a great time. We'll have a great time. Anyway, Jim, thank you so much for checking in with us. Enjoyed it. Keep up the good work, and we'll have you back sooner than later, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thanks very much for having me. I enjoyed it.
My pleasure. Thank you. All right, everybody, Jim Labuda from IMG Academy, and we don't have another commercial right now, so we do. We do have another commercial. What am I thinking of? All right, stay with us. We're going to be right back right after this.
Carter Bonus of Spectrum Golf not slowing down. His third year at the PGA Show, and the cameras are still following him. This time, Whistle Sports Media and Entertainment and Fox 35's morning show in Orlando, Florida. Carter, who is on the autism spectrum, has been Sports Illustrated Sports Kid of the Year, the Masters UPS Unstoppable CEO of the Year, all while securing a spot on the Stars of the Spectrum golf team created by former NFL quarterback Doug Flutie. Carter has been telling his incredible story about why he started his line of golf apparel around the globe, and his impact is making a difference.
I know that some stuff seems hard and that it's impossible, but one of my favorite quotes is, "It seems impossible until it's done." And over the past 3 years, I never thought I would get here and do all the stuff that I'm doing right now. Be Sports Illustrated Sports Kid of the Year for 2022. Be UPS's and the Masters Unstoppable CEO. Meet Steph Curry. Meet all of these good people. Meet Ernie Els, Alex Checa. Meet all, and be speaking in schools and in front of all of you good people. And everyone that I've spoken to before. I never thought I would do any of this. When I was little, I thought I would be nothing. But now I'm actually here and I am successful and I am happy and I am thriving. And I'm saying if I can do it, you guys can do it.
Carter, who loves playing golf, designed his own logo and put it on the softest material he could find because he has a skin sensitivity. So it not only looks good, but feels good too. He offers hats, belts, shirts, pants, and more. For more information, go to carterspectrumgolf.com.
Hi, I'm Dennis Silvers, but I'm not here today to talk to you about golf. I'm here to talk to you about America's favorite pastime, baseball. America's pastime is back and better than ever with a twist you won't believe. Introducing Old Timers Day, a movie coming soon to theaters near you.
It is a story detailing the greatest baseball game of all time. Two teams, one chosen by God, one chosen by Satan, with the greatest players of all time, living and deceased, playing alongside each other to determine the fate of mankind.
This book, world tour, and movie will help unify the millions of baseball fans around the country and help satisfy the millions of people that have faith and compassion for their fellow man.
Who will win this epic game? You'll have to watch to find out. Expect an unforgettable experience that will touch your heart and soul.
The Good Old Boys is brought to you by the Celestial Baseball Association,
Who are hitting home runs for God. Old Timers Day, where the spirit of baseball meets the power of faith. Don't miss it. Order your copy today at dpztechnology.com/store. Get this, use promo code OTD20 for an amazing 20% off. All right, can't forget Carter. Can't wait till him and his family come out here in March, and he's going to be in studio. SpectrumGolf.com. Check him out. They got a great line of stuff. He'll be very, very happy. And Old Timers Day as well. That movie is going to start being made very, very soon. So, of course, we'll keep you abreast. Anyway, that's it for our episode of the show today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell on YouTube so you'll know when we have a new edition out for you to view. And please leave us a comment, whether you like it, don't like it, what we could do better, any suggestions that you might have. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, and we will see you all back next time. So long, everybody.